Alrighty, get some. And we're having some awesome technical difficulties. Not really, it's just me. Alright, this is the first time I'm doing live. So, thought it'd be pretty cool. I'm going to be rebuilding Spartan's motor. Okay. That should be good. This should be good. Okay, well, apparently it's not wanting to do it like that. Alright, well, either way, no biggie. At least until I figure that out, but that really can't be the hardest of everything. Okay, so if you guys can chat, let me know if the orientation is right. I don't know. For some reason, it's working on Instagram, but it's not working on YouTube. Either way, we're going to be rebuilding Spartan's motor, and that has been the fastest I've ever been with in an RC car. He hit 160 on the dot. Hey, Stuart, what's up? See, okay. Okay, so you're good. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and this is YouTube. Hey, what's up, Aldo? Or maybe I should do it like this. I don't know. Bear with me, guys. I'm being stupid. Let's see. All right. Oh, my God. Hey. We have Curry's, the Sheriff, George, Trey Day. That's a sick card. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is Spartan. He is my fastest. He's my fastest. Maybe if I bring it out here, you guys can see a little bit more. Just have you on the workbench, at least until I move into the new place, you know. But it's better now. Thanks, Aldo. Yeah, so also the Wi-Fi is horrible here. At least it's in a dead zone. Not that it's an excuse, but it's a truth. And that's why I've really been putting off a lot of the live stuff. Is it coming in clear and clean with you guys? Because it takes me like 2 days to upload a YouTube video. Oh, I know who Corey is. Hey, Corey. What's up? All right, so as I said, we're going to be rebuilding Spartan's motor because I haven't ran it. There's literally dust on top of this. Look at that. If you guys could see the gray on my finger. Yes, so 160 miles an hour with this motor in Spartan, and this guy was built way before, you know, all the extra goodies. So Spartan is pretty bare bones. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if you guys can see. Well, let's try to do this here. All right. You guys can tell how unprepared I am. This is great. I'm really just winging this because I wanted to try, you know, I just wanted to try the live out. All right, so this is it. This is a massive motor. This is the largest, most potent motor. How's it going? I'm looking forward to this. Hey, Jonathan, what's up? Okay, yes, so this is probably one of the most aggressive motors that I have. I love Castle, and Castle is extremely clean. They make very clean, not as aggressive motors. Now, there's like a different world of motors. There's clean, efficient, this and that. Then you have extremely aggressive, a lot of power, and you got to consider like, hey, you got to make sure your build, your solder joints, if the batteries are like everything is on point, because it might strike a fire, you know. You know, so this is a really aggressive motor. If you guys could hear it, it's disgusting. It's loud. Let's see. Yeah, it's super beefy. I'm just going over some, change the wing to a flat wing, make too much downforce. Hey, Arrma. All right, so this was before I ever considered to go flat wing. I have never flipped Spartan. He's never taken flight. And actually, this wing isn't too aggressive. The wing actually is cut down in the back, so it actually allows a lot of air to fly through, but there's a little bit of downforce that you do need. You know, I understand if you have like the perfect road conditions, yeah, you could get away with a flat wing, but I've personally never ever wanted to go flat because I've never had good traction until I put the wing on and I, you know, sanded it down. then, you know, that's when I started having a lot of success with Spartan. And, you know, ever since then, I'm not changing it. He did 150s, he's 160. He's not, you know, I'm not touching the wing. He is good. Now, Vision, on the other hand, I might have to take that off because he has literally double what this is. Vision is double what Spartan is, times two. Two of these motors. Stupid. And I actually ended up not running him because it's too stupid. So what I'm doing now, I'm actually undoing the 2 bolts that hold the slide with the motor mount in place. It's pretty easy. It's not too bad. You guys good on light? You guys could see? Yeah, hopefully. What do I charge to build a fast car? Well, I mean, it really depends. You could make a fast car staying under 1,500 and you could spend $3,000 to get the same speed. You could do a 3S fast setup. It really depends. If you're going brand new everything, you're probably gonna be between, you know, 1,400 minimum, and you're probably gonna be upwards of $2,000 for like a loaded up GT car at least, you know. And it's not doing crazy stuff to it. Of course, you could have all the extra goodies, but you know, this car has no goodies whatsoever. Just the electronics are really good. The suspension is set up right. You know, it's got a lot of proper things that you should really consider before you even touch upgrades. You know, I would much rather make sure the car hooks and books and puts a lot of its power to the ground rather than going with all the, you know, shiny stuff, although it is really pretty. I love a lot of the upgrades. But stock axles, it has a homemade spool from a broken drive shaft 4 years ago, and he's never had issues, honestly. So this is actually an older PPS mount, as you guys can see right over here. Let's see if I can maybe bring this in closer. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we're all good over here. I'm just making sure I keep up with comments. So this one, instead of it like an Allen key where you unscrew, all I'm doing is unscrewing this little bezel right over here, and it screws the motor outward, which isn't too bad at all. And you could adjust your motor mesh that way. And once it's all the way out, oh, there we go, bam, easy. Look at that. This is just a big motor. I was hitting my hand, not the motor. All right, so now that the motor is out of, oh my God, he's so lightweight. Yeah, motors take up damn near a third of the weight of the car. There's like nothing in this thing right now. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to put Spartan off to the side, and keep in mind, whenever I put them anywhere, you guys can see this tire. The tires never touch the ground until it's within 1 hour of him running. No, sorry, 30 minutes of him running. Because I don't want there to be any kind of flat spots on the tires. Because if you make a flat spot and you're doing, let's say, even 80, 90, you will feel it and you're not going to want to go faster. Sean Foster, big fan, got me into speed running. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like my shenanigans. But yeah, I really haven't touched Spartan since 2021. God, it's been 4 years. I'm getting old as I'm young. The only thing I changed with him, I just got rid of, where the hell did they go? I just had them. Okay, there. I had these extensions onto the motor, right? Extensions onto the motor, because it's a TP motor. It doesn't have super long wires like Castle. But instead of these, I deleted these, and I just have these going directly into the ESCs. So it's minimizing resistance. There's less distance for power to flow, and you really want the least amount of resistance. So if anything, this is just an efficiency upgrade with these. If you guys can see, I put a post out on Instagram and Facebook, my little 90 degrees. Yeah, it's hard to see, I guess. But once I get into this new place, I'm going to be moving to Tallahassee in a month in a couple weeks. I don't know, next month. It's just so expensive down here in South Florida, but I'll be able to have my own room to do this stuff. The Wi-Fi will be a lot, or at least I'm just in a dead spot, so I'll be able to do this a lot more often. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Big Az. 2B, do I use any 3D printed parts? No, I don't think there is. No. So in 2021, 3D printing was, I guess, just like starting off, and there was barely any parts in general. I have a 3D printer right there. It's, oh, wait, can you guys see it? Maybe. There it is, kind of. I got Instagram too. You guys can see my 3D printer. It's a Ender 3 Pro, but no, I don't really use any of that. What's up, guys? All the guys coming in. We are rebuilding this monstrosity. It is pretty big. Look at this thing. Oh, sorry, I'm immature. But yeah, these motors are thick. When you push them on the ground, you feel the ground shake. Now, Vision has 2 of these, literally 2 of these. And honestly, the car is sweet, but that's one of the most pointless cars I've ever built. Oh, why? Half throttle was 141 miles an hour. I think I sneezed and I blipped the throttle, car flipped up. Oops. All right, so either way, we are going to be taking this guy apart. We're going to need some things here. There's been no damage done to this motor. So yeah, I mean, so it should work as should. You're going to want a little blower, air blowers, because you want to blow some air if there's dust in there or whatnot. A little bit of electrical cleaner, if you guys could see. This stuff is dangerous. You don't want to inhale it. Microfiber cloth rag and a magnet. Where's my magnet? Magnet. There we go. Why do I say a magnet? Because if there's anything magnetic that is around your work area, you want to make sure you remove it ASAP. Because once I pull this rotor out, this rotor is, it could almost decapitate a finger once I try to put it in. That's how strong the magnets are in something like this. Even the Castle ones, just because when you spin it, it's not like crazy tight. Well, if your finger's in the middle there, you're getting more than, a couple stitches. You just really got to be careful. But another reason I want to make sure, all the metal is just out of this area, because we don't want to mix, any kind of metallic metals, and we don't want that in our motor. Obviously, that's going to rub, it's going to destroy things. We just don't want it. Obviously, if you have a larger magnet, that's going to be optimal. But just a quick little, once over a little bit. See? It didn't appear like I was getting anything. I had to test the magnet to see if it was still magnetized. All right, so there is actually some metal stuff over here. So I'm going to avoid all that, and I'm just going to work over here on this little clean portion. Okay. Done. Now what I'm going to do. Also, do you guys need light? If you can see, maybe it might be easier for you. Just let me know. What's that for? What, the magnet 2B? What's up, Kevin Smith? Can't wait to see the Big Rock project. That's coming out tomorrow. It's video I was working on. Ran Tail the Dragon with it. It's going to come out tomorrow at 7. So a lot of cool things with the Big Rock. What's up, everyone on Instagram? Well, that sounded good outside. Some kind of a V8. So we took our gear off. Yeah, sorry, I'm a car guy. I like car stuff. Just a reminder. Really want to remove as much stuff possible. And those seem to be 2.5 millimeters. Like this. Yeah. Gotta love MIP. Blackbeard 203. So I'm running the drag / track running McLaren DRK, Trinity 2.5 turn, and blew the ESC. What do new ESC? So keep in mind with those really high winding motors, they demand more from the ESC. Not just amperage and power, and all that stuff, but the board of the ESC needs to keep up with like sending power out individually to each of the phases. So whenever you, let's say, it could be a brand new ESC motor, whatever it is, and it cogs, there's something wrong with one of the, or you could have blew a MOSFET. You need to be careful with that. What can you do to eliminate that, though? Run a higher kV. Oh my God, no. You want to run a lower kV, or you want to reduce how much voltage you're running. It's just too demanding on the board. And those McLean ESCs are like, little tiny. So whenever they say like 160 amps on something, no, get out of here. No, that's maybe 100 amps constant. You need a beefier ESC. I would actually go with a Mamba Monster 2 Retro. I would do that, but you might want a lower kV. But if you're running high voltage, you might compensate. Yep, exactly, Coach. It is two and a half turns. It's a lot of RPM. It really is. And if you run high kV, high voltage, that's why a lot of the guys in the drag scene, not to get into this, but in the 8th scale, 7th scale limitless drag cars, why they choose the X8S over an XLX2. Well, that's because the XLX2 is designed, the board is designed for exactly Blackbeard. It's designed to run a higher turn or lower kV. XLX2 is designed to run lower kV. So when you want to, let's say, run 2900 kV on 8S, that's a bit, too much. It's not too much power. It's too much for the board to keep up with. And it doesn't have the, I don't know, it's not RPM. It's how quick the phases touch the motor and, allow it to turn. It just can't keep up, unfortunately. So you just got to voltage down or whatnot. Yeah, the Ghost ESC and an X8S would be good. I mean, if you're going to do 2.5 turn, you actually might want to run a smaller ESC, believe it or not. But yeah. All right, so we have our motor here. Look at this thing. This thing. I'm sorry, I get distracted. Fairly easy. Now there's going to be a bunch of 3mm bolts on the top over here, just like this. And why I do that is because my 3mm MIP is super sharp, and you don't want to start turning and twisting when you're at the tip of the screw. You want to make sure you get it all the way in there. No problem, Blackbeard. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, but if you call up Castle and ask one of the engineers or the techs, ask them what kV do certain ESCs perform better at, and you'll get a much better answer. I just, don't have a degree in aerospace. Not really. I have other degrees. Building my drag slash 6400 kV with the Mamba X8S. That is a great setup. Happy New Year, Johan. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Remember, start slow and make sure everything works, and then give it some beans. Okay, so there was a bunch of Loctite all around. I keep forgetting as I'm blowing. I have a blower right here. Just blow it away. Okay, so now that we have all the stainless steel button head bolts off on the top, now you're going to see this is going to be able to spin. This is where you really need to be careful. Number one thing to know when you open any motor, there's going to be bushings. There's also going to be a not like a crush. Yeah, actually, I guess like a crush washer. To eliminate some of the play between the rotor back and forth. You need to make sure you don't lose any of them, period. So that's why working on a mat just like this, where you see some grooves like this Powder Hobby mat, Cow RC mat, whatever, they're all great mats. Get something like this, okay? So I'm going to take the top off like so. Look at that. Just like that. And one thing that you want to test whenever you open the motor are the bearings. Obviously, this bearing is good. And in fact, it's actually really broken in. A brand new bearing is going to spin much less because obviously, you know, this motor's been ran. God, do I love this motor. That's why there's two of them in Vision. All right, so I'm not taking the rotor out just yet, but I'm going to put it, stay there. Okay, see brass, there's a brass bushing. See Instagram, YouTube. All right, so brass is actually non-magnetic, so that's why they do that. And you know, here's my magnet. See? Oh, I guess it is. There might be some metallic properties, but either way, it's nowhere near as magnetic as, let's say, if it were to be a steel washer, spacer, or whatever. But that's why they use, or it could be copper. I don't know. Either way, there's some metallic mix in here that makes it magnetic. Okay, so this is one bushing. Place it down right there. And then you want to visually inspect over here. Is there a lot of crap? Is there like grease or gook or what's up, CNHL Q8? You just got to make sure that it looks, you know, decent, I guess. So that's a big bearing. Look at that. That's a 806, 608. Dyslexia. Skateboard bearing actually. So these things can handle a lot of load. You just want to make sure that you know, clean over here a little bit. So what I'm going to actually do, even alcohol is great. A little bit of alcohol. You could use electronic cleaner as well. I'm actually about out of this, so I might use alcohol instead. Anything that strips grease, you want to take all that up and off, because over time, yeah, it's going to get, whoa, get high off that stuff. You know, just twist it, spin it. You don't want to, if you feel the bearing and there's nothing inside the bearing, don't touch it. You know, it's better not touched than you take it out, you relube it. No, you don't have to do all that unless you want to. You get brownie points, I guess. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit shinier now, a little bit. So this part is done. Both sides. We're going to put it over here. And what I like to do, can you guys see? All I see are comments, but like right here, I'm putting everything in order. Well, actually, I should do it this way, in order with how it came out. So you just remember how to put it back in. Luckily, I already know, you know, the gist of what and how you want to put it out, take it in, and where the spacers go to begin with. But if you don't know, I would highly recommend do that right here. It's kind of hard to see because of the comments, but if you could just see down here, definitely do that. All my screws are over here, separated from here, because you know, they're metal screws and they could be there could be some metal in it. All right, so here's the next thing. I probably can. Yeah, I probably can. But a safer way to pull this rotor out, I can't just pull it out. Extremely safe. There's no easy way to do this, but just to be strong. So what I do on the rotor right here, I put a pinion gear. Doesn't matter how big or small. Screw it on. It doesn't have to be heckin' tight, but you know, tight enough to where you can grab it and pull the rotor out just like that. So at least you have more, you know, more whatever to grab onto. Because this rotor, it's, as I said, if your finger gets caught in between here when the rotor wants to go back in, you might go to the hospital. So do not do this. I'm standing up. See, I have to get into my stance. I almost got to warm up for this thing. All right, here we go. Trying to keep this down. Okay, now notice how I pulled straight up. So because there's always going to be another spacer or crush washer or whatever inside there, which is okay. What I don't want to do is put it you know, down and then it drops and then, oh, you don't have any more spacers, you know, whatever. So it's still in here, but real reason why I have this is because if you take this rotor and go all across this workbench, it's picking up this is literally a magnet that's probably 1,000 times stronger than this guy right here. So you need to be careful with this. This is the inside. These are the guts. Look at this monstrosity, 5670 rotor. That is a big whopping magnet. Keep it away from any tools as well. I'm actually going to wrap it up in a clean microfiber cloth because we don't, you know, we obviously don't want anything in there. But if you're going to clean this, again, since I'm almost out of the electrical cleaner, I'm going to use alcohol. You don't have to be crazy with it, but just to, you know, get all the stuff off. That didn't happen. Yeah, so if that happens, real professional. If that happens, what you want to do, actually, whatever metallic grain of whatever that you get, take your finger, because you're not magnetic, and just rub it up towards one area. And you're going to visually look to see if, hey, if there's anything on there. Actually, I'm kind of glad that happened, because shit happens in this hobby, and you need to know how to recover. So that's that. I washed my hands before this, so it's not like, you know, they're filled with grease and whatnot. But for the most part, everything seems all right. And you really want to look into it. You don't want to, you know, skimp out on something. Yeah, this is a crazy, crazy rotor. I'm going to move these pliers right here, because that spells disaster. And here, if you guys see that little hole, that little notch right there, right? That's actually to balance the rotor. And that's what they do in the factories. So, you know, that's a little bit what that is. All right, so I'm not putting a lot of alcohol. And I'm going to use the other side of the towel that I cleaned that on, because I don't really want to mix it. Not a lot of alcohol, because you also don't really want to wipe off what they wrote on here. Ultimately, you really don't, you know, and just do it in one direction, because if there's, as I said, any metallic things, you know, it pushes it up to one side, and hopefully you can see it, because you know you're going in one direction, you know, so you know where to look for the most part. And you just do around the whole rotor. Now up here, the other end of the rotor, there you go. You just want to kind of twist it a little bit. And then now over here, I'm doing the top part of it, top part of this rotor. And keep in mind, there could still be some other bushings in here. There's nothing on here because everything else is, you know, in the motor still. And I'm keeping this gear on here the whole time. Okay, now this is good. You don't want to touch it. You want to wrap it, double wrap it, whatever. Okay, I'm putting it right here. Yeah, so why you won't really want to double, triple wrap it is just so nothing, like the magnetism doesn't attract anything else from the outside. All right, can you guys still see down here, like the order that I have these, the end cap and the bushing in? Because I just want to make sure that you guys see the order. All right, cool. All right, so now, as I said, there's going to be another bushing. Go like that. And then, of course, there's more magnets in here, so you do want to be careful with this. Just, you know, as I said, you're going to clean your whole workplace before you do this. Now, where I went like that, take only the bushing out, obviously. Hold on to it tight, because I've dropped it after that. And there's going to be some crap that's in, or sand, dirt, whatever, or even some more when you undo a screw, it can still be there. You want to make sure that's not re-entering with the rotor inside the can. Yeah, that's a decent amount. Keep in mind, a few grains of sand might not seem like a lot, but when the motor is spinning at 50,000 RPM, number one, and number two, let's say the motor gets to about 180 degrees, you know, because that's easy. It's easy for temperature to be there. Thermal expansion happens at around, well, just in general, but magnetic deterioration starts at 180. So you want to keep it at or below that. This motor's never seen 180 though, which is good, so it's a healthy motor. Okay, so this is the other bushing. This goes on the other side. So we have our top, and then we have our bottoms over here. And maybe I should get another microfiber towel. Stay tuned. Hang on. Where'd the towels go? Right here. All right. Now, you want to take a little bit more alcohol, just because alcohol really strips the grease off pretty well. And, you know, as I said, you want to make sure you clean everything before it re-enters. You want to do it right the first time, honestly, because you don't want to have to go back in, and then let's say you put everything back together. Oh, it worked fine before I opened it. You don't want to be that guy. Everything is exactly where you had it before, and it's put back exactly how it likes to be. So that's clean. We have our other bushing. This is clean. Did you see that, RC? Let's go. What's up, man? Cap pack on a Spectrum 6S ESC. What are the benefits? All right, so capacitors are basically oil filters in like a real car. All they do is absorb electrical sound in the meantime when power is flowing. So not all inefficiencies, but it helps with, you know, a good percentage of it depending on the cap, on the load, the application, all that crap. It helps. Now, a really large cap where you have like a 10, 20 bank cap, and I know those are cool, but if you plug your battery in, it's going to make a pop noise. And it even does that if your ESC doesn't have a capacitor. But wait, it does. Many ESCs nowadays, they actually have a lot of capacitors, internal capacitors, and you're still loading them with power. So if you have a crazy cap pack and you plug it in, you're going to be disintegrating your gold plates on your connectors that you're using. You just need to be careful. Can you use hand sanitizer as alcohol? I'm going to honestly say no to that because some hand sanitizers, they have like aloe and stuff that's good for us. Not ultimately good, but, you know, stuff that moisturizes your hands. In an electrical application, you don't want to use hand sanitizer. Yeah, just don't. And notice how I keep shaking this out because if there's any metal or magnetic, you know, anything, you want to be careful of that. Wow, yeah, so check that out. This is a clean motor. It's obviously never been in water. You guys see the little blue? See on YouTube? Yeah, right in between the crease of my hand. That could all just be more, what's it called? Stuff. Oh my God, I went brain dead. Thread lock, Loctite. When you undo the bolts to the end cap, they could fall back in. Well, that was probably in there from before, or it could be anything else. It doesn't have to be Loctite. I don't know. Either way, it's out. Notice how I keep doing this. You want to shake it because there could still be some stuff inside the coils. You guys see? Making sure you guys can see. This is so for the Instagram guys over here, this is YouTube, Instagram. So I'm showing you guys right over here. That's it. And then now for Instagram, you guys can see in there. It's an open-ended motor, so you do have to be careful. And yeah, so why I keep hitting it like that is because a bunch of sand, dirt, dust, whatever can get inside the coils. If you guys can see the coils in there, you know, doesn't have to be in the touching the rotor the whole time. They could fall in between there. Okay, so just like that. Now I have a little bit left. I could do this actually. Electrical cleaner is great. It strips grease and all that crap off. It's, you know, it's good stuff, and you're supposed to use it on like electrical connectors for like automotive use or just whatever use. So it's good, and it dries because it's, I guess, an alcohol base or something like that. One thing that is gonna take a lot of stuff off, you want to could you vacuum it out? Yeah, well, almost. We can't vacuum, but I'm gonna blow it out. But first, what I'm gonna do is spray it. I'm gonna have to hold my breath because this stuff is, I'm gonna be high by the end of this stream. Make sure there's no lighters. Putting that behind me. I don't want my eyebrows blown off. And you just want to spray inside all around. Quick 1, 2, 3. Whew. Just like that. It's a little bit, you know, wet in there, moist or whatever. But as alcohol evaporates, it leaves zero residue, which is what you want. So what that also does is kind of loosen up if there is any dirt or sand or whatever inside the motor. And then with our little blower over here, it pretty much just blows it out. So does it work? Yes. Do you have to do it every time? No. You could just do what I just did, where you just did this and then you blow it. You know, it's great. But to have one of these blowers, great. So we're going to blow it now. thing really blows. Shout out to my dad for getting it for me. All right, so we cleaned it, we aired it. So for the most part, it's good. Maybe blow the fumes away also. Yeah, that's exactly. You don't just want to spray this stuff and just leave it in there. You want to make sure you blow it so it actually forcefully makes it evaporate, because that's what this stuff is. Helps prevent contact failure. Okay, well, just has to do with grease isn't between the contact, but either way, yeah, so you want to just make sure. And then until you see nothing after you hit it a few times, and I'm not doing it hard, you just want to make sure you know, nothing. Hit it again. Do it. The last thing you want to do is, oh, there's another thing in there after doing all this work, and then bam, that happens. All right, so we're pretty much done with the motor cleaning. I mean, you really don't have to do anything over here unless you want to like just clean the motor physically on the outside, but you know, that's whatever. These are speedrun cars. They really don't get too dirty. Off cars, bashers, mud boggers, even the drag cars, those get real dirty because there's a lot of the what's it called, the prep on the tires that get on the motor. Got to make sure you clean that out. That's even worse to clean out. Maybe blow the fumes away, dance. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Yes, we're starting this year off right instead of left. All right, I'm putting my thing back. No more of this. It's horrible for you. All right, so exactly how we took everything apart, we're going to put it all back together. Here's our motor, obviously. And this is still the rotor. Remember, as I said, you want to hold on to the gear, as I told you, just because it's, you know, it's going to be violent. I'm not putting it in, taking it out anytime. I actually took this motor apart once, and that was like a few years ago. So this here is dangerous. The first time I did it, made me think I was alive. So if you guys remember, this is the front. This is the front end cap. And then we have our front bushing, and then that's the rear bushing. We're going to do the rear stuff first. So we want to put the rear bushing back on. What kV am I running? This is a 1260, 1270. Not that that matters, but it's like a 1260, 1270. Look at this rotor. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh my God. Just make sure you don't have anything, you know, actually anything blowing. I was going to have a fan here. You don't even want that blowing towards you, because let's say you put, you know, the fan on and it's going to blow anything with metal in it at 50,000 RPM. And that's not the fastest motor that we have out there. You know, as you said earlier in the stream about, I think 20 minutes ago, you have a 2.5 turn. That's like an 80,000 RPM motor. That's almost twice what this is. Oh, I appreciate that. Did you see RC? Did you see that, RC? I think IRC shares his gem because I'm in the speed running while now. I appreciate it. There's nothing wrong with being a fanboy. Stuart Dance, do you think... Oh my God, my glasses are horrible. Do you think... Or my reading level is like 3rd grade. Do you think I can fit that in a V1? Oh, in a V1 Limitless? Yeah, that's actually what Spartan is. Spartan's a V1 infraction, or V2 infraction, which is a V1 Limitless chassis. It's identical. You just have to flip the motor mount. What's up, Mendoza? AC said hello. Tell him I miss him. Local guys. All right, so this is the last time we're probably going to see this rotor out here for another little bit, or at least until I run Spartan again. And you know, so look at this thing. If I put this up to anything, good luck getting it off. So I'm going to do this one time now. This is going to be the when I say dangerous, it's genuinely dangerous. We have to put the bushing on first, or whatever your motor has. Might have a crush washer. Make sure you're careful. Oh yeah. I want to make sure my fingers are out here, because this thing is literally going to hook this rotor up at like Mach 10. Just gonna say, don't forget the bushing. Thank you for looking out for me. But yeah, you want to make sure you have the bushings or whatever else on the rotor before you put it back in, because guess what? You're gonna have to muscle it back out, and then you're gonna have to risk your life. Not really. You just got to be careful. All right, so I'm gonna hold this steady, right? I'm only doing this once, so this is it. Thank you. My fingers are on the gear, and I'm just gonna let go once it does it. I gotta hold on to this. Here we go. You guys ready? Oh, Jesus. Good. But yeah, it does that instantly. If I want to try to retreat, there's no retreating. The strength of that magnet is just insane. And there are bigger motors than this. You know, this motor is in, I would say, probably the high 90 percentile of large motors out there. But there's dog eat dog world. There's always bigger, you know. And bigger there will be little Easter eggs. Since you guys are actually on the stream, that's a little Easter egg. It lagged. Oh, I hope it didn't lag. I'm not doing that again. All right, so here is the other bushing right over here. Just like that. And then if you guys remember, this is our end cap. So the end cap goes on the end. Just like this. Just like that. Might be a little bit difficult to push back on, but you also kind of want to move the end cap. Oh, hi. Hi. Give me a minute. It's nice out. Yeah. Okay. He. Say hi.
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 Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. A 4080 TP single motor up to, yeah, the 4080 is a great can size. It's a little bit longer than this, but it's not thick. You know, it's a standard 40. So when you put the what's this thing called, the end cap back on, what you need to do, you're probably going to have to wiggle it a little bit because the magnets are going to force it to be on one end of the stator, or rotor or whatever, of the outside of the can. Oh my God, it's been a long day. So you just want to kind of wiggle it because right now it won't spin, you know. Oh, there you go. You see? That wasn't that hard, actually. It's really hard to see. You see that little space? Not sure if you guys could see. Just got to wiggle it until it becomes flush with the rest of the can. And yeah, so here's our motor. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. We still have all these screws over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these bad boys. Stainless steel. Where's our 3 millimeter? And we're going to want to get our Loctite. Keep in mind, I will never rebuild a motor within an hour or two before running. If I'm rebuilding a motor, it's going to be a day or two, or like I'm planning this weekend, you know. So just because, let's say if you have something Loctited on it, i.e. these motor bolts, you want to make sure they are snug and, you know, solidified. So now, once this is like this, you're kind of okay and you're kind of safe. So we could put the motor back here, and now we could start shooting these bolts back in. Oh, anytime, Stuart. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of different motors, can sizes. They have 20 different KVs at the same can size, different length, different thickness. Like, there's no wrong one to go with. You just need to have the right one for what you want to do. And, you know, you can achieve the same exact thing whether you have the same KV or not. You just got to gear accordingly for whatever you do. Okay, so here's our first bolt. I'm trying to get this to where you guys can see. There you go. Now, just like in the real car world, whenever you tighten lug nuts on a real car wheel, you want to go in a star pattern so that the torque is evenly dispersed. You don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you just want to do it left, right, left, right. So that's one. How could I get in touch with you about some work? What's up, Lit Boy, Little Boy, Lit Boy, Lit Boy CJ? You're on Instagram, so just DM me on my Instagram, and I can I'll give you a quote with whatever you want. You know, if it's a full build, I am a Castle supplier. Everything comes straight from Castle. It's real stuff. It's not, oh, I had it and I'm selling it. Brand spanking new. What kind of motor setup would I run on a Max V2? I think that has a 40 millimeter motor to begin with. Am I wrong? Because if that's the case, I would actually go with the brand new Castle 1512 2650 kV. So you could run that on 4S and 5S, and you know you're gonna have more power, but it's also gonna be pretty cool because it's a 6S motor. It gets hot on the 6S. What kV is that, TP? What's up, Roger? It's a 1260, 1270. I think it's a 1270. Not that that 10 kV makes a difference, but yeah. So it's a 1270 kV. Do I have a shop in Miami? No. Opalock? No, sir. I do not have a shop. I used to work at a hobby shop, so that's probably why you guys saw the hobby shop. But I'm doing this full time now. And that's what I'm doing. Keep in mind, just because I'm talking doesn't mean I can slack. I got to make sure I still do that start pattern. Obviously, if you're doing this by yourself, it's going to be a little bit, you know, straightforward. Things are harder when you have to like explain. And I'm putting a dot of blue Loctite, not too much, but you know, just enough. Yeah, for the YouTube people. Can you guys see a little bit of lock? Well, maybe not. There you go. Just a little bit of Loctite. Now for the Instagrammers, there you go. Got to make sure you can still go in the star pattern. And yeah, no, I just don't have a shop. Too expensive here in South Florida. It's crazy. What would I say for my V1? No switching motor mount. 175 open wheel. 175 open wheel. Well, I've never done 170, but I can direct you with the correct electronics to use. You're 1000% want to run 8S. I'd probably go 1700, 1800 kV with the, well, it's actually going to be kind of hard. You're probably going to want to run a 56, so same as can like this guy, but the shortest can 5640, and that might fit in the original location of a V1 limitless. 175 in a V1 limitless is difficult. You know, if you can redrill the holes and move the mount back a little bit, like half an inch, you'll be golden. That's actually what I did with Shockwave originally. Before there was a limitless, I moved the whole motor mount up more, and I was able to put a 4070 in there. It's back in 2018. Make sure we're still doing the star pattern, the bolts. It's the best combo for DBXLE. DBXLE, if you want to run 12S, I mean, a bunch of guys are going with the Hobby Wing Max 5. Yeah, the Max 5 does 12S, and it's great. It's not too aggressive. Even honestly, I'd probably just go with the Max 4. Just spend another $100 and do that. You have another 100 amps. So I would just go with that Max 4 and go with the 800 kV or that. Thank you. How much for that setup? I honestly forgot what I was talking about 20 seconds ago. Oh, hi. Yes. Hi. Hi. Do you want to be a guest?
No.
Oh, okay. It's okay. So now what I just did over here, actually, the reason why it was kind of hard to put the gear on to put the rotor in and out, there's still some Loctite from the grub screw. And so I'm just cleaning it off with alcohol. So I'm cleaning the other side of the rotor off. Now that it's already, you know, kind of situated, I didn't want to agitate it and then it fall back into the can of the motor. So that's why I'm doing it last, actually. But there we go. We have our motor completely rebuilt. Can barely turn it with my hand, but that's a good thing. Okay, let me remember how I put this in. I'll reinstall it in Spartan for you guys. This isn't going to be a crazy long stream. It's just doing this. But I should certainly do this more often. I'm kind of enjoying it. You can also, yep, exactly. RC Husa. Yeah, anything below 800. 800 is kind of high of a kV for 12S. If you're going to last, you want to be like 7, 6, 5. Yeah, it's a lot of motors, a lot of torque and all that. Now, keep in mind, we're at the point where you can literally put it anywhere and you're fine. That is the motor. All right, we're going to move this back. We have our motor, whatchamacallit thing. I forgot words. And I'm going to bring Spartan back up here. And just like this. Yeah, fit CNHL Q8. Yeah, 1400. It's a little bit more of a hot motor. Hot, not as in temperature, but it's going to spool up a little bit quicker than this guy. This is a 1270. So if you have 1400, you'll get to the same place with less gear. Honestly, that's a good motor. If you could find it as a Y wind, WYE, 1000%, that would be, you know. These are some good motors. These 56 series TP motors, they're sleepers. They really are. Just because they don't cost $500 doesn't mean, you know, they're not good. These are some of the strongest motors in the world, except for MGM or anything that runs extremely high voltage. All right, so I have this stuff, gear, motor. We got the top plate. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. That was not real. That was my mouth, by the way. Okay, yeah, so we're just putting the motor back in. What I want to do, obviously we need to slide, but I'm just, you know, making sure I get because there's a bunch of hole patterns, so I could twist the motor many different ways, but as you guys could see, they're all going off to the left because the ESC is over here. Maybe I should, would it be easier if I do this, maybe? Yeah, tilt it slightly. All right, so you guys can see Spartan a little bit easier now. All right, so when this is in here, all right, so we want to kind of like that. So this is going. This is a lot more difficult when trying to do this on a stream. I think this is it. No, that's too much. Yeah, this is it right here. All right. And obviously, I'm sure you guys know how to put on a motor slide plate because all these new motor mounts nowadays, they all, you know, you have the little slide, whatchamacallit. And just want to put a dot of Loctite. Again, you don't need anything crazy. What you need more than a lot of Loctite is the time it takes for a little bit of Loctite to settle. Less is more. Okay, just for it to stick in there a little bit better. Oh my God, I hate this. What was the position that I did it? I think it was like this. Oh, you know what? Because I have the end cap on a different hole. That's why I'm getting confused, because there's a little mark from the slide plate that's in a different area, which is why I was driving myself nuts. There we go. And keep in mind, when I screw these in, this is not tight right now. It's just snug, because you want to make sure the motor slide plate is on as perfectly flush and flat, and you know, got to think about working on it like a Koenigsegg. Got to be that level. Torque to spec. That's sarcasm, by the way. Just want to make sure they're not going to go anywhere. All right. Catch up on comments. Only took about 10 years. RC Mass. Oh my God. Long time no see. Got to the patience. 24. Yeah, that's true. You know, I mean, you could just tighten it and be fine, but I like to sleep a little bit better at night knowing that the Loctite is dry. It's just me. I will say I've never had a pinion gear come off, at least a speed car. It's a stock car, you know. Those aren't really on that much anymore. So we're going to put the motor in here, kind of wiggle it around a little bit. Keep in mind the clearances between this PPS motor mount, it's very fine, so you want to take your time doing it. And my hand is supporting the back of the motor, as you guys can see over here. Maybe I could do this. Sorry. No, the YouTube guys are seeing a little bit better, hopefully. So I'm supporting it with the back because it's a heavy motor. Leverage is going to want to, you know, pull it back. And then I'm putting it up until it stops. Because now we have this. This is the older style PPS. So I'm holding it through the back, and now I'm making sure it catches the thread so I can start screwing it back in to adjust the motor inward. Here. Here is this. These are the motor mount screws on the top, the slide screws. Now those I'm not Loctiting because we have 2 of them. And every single run I tighten them, or just make sure they're torqued. Okay, I'm not tightening them because we still got to put on a pinion gear. Can I turn this rotor? Yeah. God. Should get my money back from the gym. It's not doing me too much justice. What's up, Tony PR? Oh, so if you have a V2 BlitBoy, if you're completely building that thing up, you want to do, let's say, 150, 160 plus, you know, I mean, you're going to have the same electronics. You're probably going to be upward of like 1,700 about, because there are some transmission drivetrain things that you need to do, the labor involved, you know, it's nothing crazy, but if you want to do right the first time, 1,800 is cheap. There's guys, I mean, not guys, this car probably has $3 grand put into it with all the different tunes I've had, different gears, different this and that, you know, all that crap. So this hobby can get very expensive. That's why it's best to do everything the first time, the right time. Ooh, ooh, nice. All right, so now we have our Butterfingers. I'm taking out both of the grub screws to this pinion gear. Oh, 132. I mean, you're probably going to be you're going to be buying almost the same electronics. It's just going to be geared different if you're drag racing. What's up, Mr. Andrew? Yeah, I know. It's been so long. Honestly, I've been putting it off for the last year and change because I don't know. I reset my router like about an hour ago. You know, just it's such a dead zone in here. It takes me 3 days to upload a video. It's stupid. I have no idea why. And my phone's internet, not the Wi-Fi, is that too. So they probably use lead paint in here, preventing any kind of connection. So it's not necessarily the Wi-Fi. It's just like the area is horrible. But once I move in the next month and a week, month and 2 weeks or something like that, I'll be able to do this a lot more often. I have a much larger area. Yes, sir. Consistency is growth. Well, that's something limitless already. Oh, well, there you go. So how people get fast, whether it's 132 drag racing or speed runs, you have to go out and do it. You got to do it a lot. You got to learn the cars. You got to learn what makes the car fast. You know, that's that. You know, I only know what I know from screwing up a lot. Not necessarily. I've just done a lot in the last 10 years. Done a lot when I was young, so I kind of grew up with this kind of stuff. You'll get it. You'll understand the gist on how to make a fast car. Like this right here These solder joints, 1, 2, 3, 90-degree angle, no extensions, you know, that's what you want to try to get a car to be built like. So it's at least consistent. You know, all the guys putting up good numbers, they're doing a lot of the work. Hasn't like trying to find the setup. Okay, now I'm just doing the gear mesh. I'm sure you guys know how to do that. Nothing special here. It's really difficult to do this upside down, actually. Really difficult. See, I'm using my finger to try to make sure it's flush on the spur gear. Screwing up seems to be pretty fast to me. Oh, well. All you guys saw was the success. There's a lot of fuck-ups along the way. You know, but in time, once you understand everything and you just get it, you know, failure is still inevitable if it's going to happen. You know, that's just the way of the world, not just RC, but just in general, like everything. Once you understand how something works and you just get it, you'll do some crazy things. Like, I mean, I guess I'm young in this hobby, but I think I was like 16, 17, and I was doing like the transmission in my two-wheel drive Rustler. Great car. I'm never getting rid of that. But it got to a point when I was in high school and I just understood whatever else came my way. It just unlocked my brain, and then I started doing stupid stuff like the twin turbine thing. That was right after I think that's 2017. Oh my god, it's almost 10 years ago. It's like 8. Jeez. Now I want to adjust the gear mesh. Keep in mind I'm doing this upside down and almost blindfolded. Either way, I'll probably reset the gear mesh once I can see properly, but you guys can see, I hope, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I do a gear mesh, I have to be perfect on it. I don't like being a little bit too loose, a little bit too tight. I like it when it's done right. That sounds about good. Do this long enough, you know what a good sound sounds like. Proper gear mesh based on, yeah, that sounds good. Done. Well, there we have it, guys. There we have it. Ooh, Spartan, you get some weight. Check that out. There we go. Rebuilt the crazy, stupid, fast motor. Well, the motor is actually not that fast. It just has a lot of torque. But you can use that torque to get your fast, which is with the gearing. So you need to make sure you have, if you're going with a torque motor, you want to make sure you have a lot of efficiency to give up in time. Maybe I could flip this way. All right, there we go. It's probably gonna be a little bit easier for you guys. Spartan, what's up, Roger? What's up, Jayco? Yeah, I mean, these are still the same tires that I ran the last time. Is 159 on the, I think the Dynamo, with Sky RC GPS, which is 2 miles an hour off. So there's 161, but I'll say it's 160. And yeah, after that I built Vision, which is stupid. So actually, maybe I'll show you guys Vision real quick. If you guys thought this motor was crazy, imagine 2 of them. All right, so Spartan is done. I'll get Vision real quick. She thought this guy was heavy. This guy's fat. Well, this one is. Okay. Hope you guys can see. There's a lot going on here. It's just a lot of cards. Extremely yeah, everything. You guys should turn it over. This thing was ran literally once, and then I kept them on the shelf. All right, YouTube can see, Instagram can see. All right, you guys can see. Hello, my man. Armalone's V2 41.2 spur. What's your suggestion on opinion to reach? Well, I mean, it depends on your motor, depends on the voltage you're running. It depends on everything, you know. That's just like driving your bicycle up to the dealership saying, hey, my car has a check engine light. Can you diagnose it? I need to know a lot. There's a lot more. But there's literally 2 of those motors that we just rebuilt. One here, and this sounds disgusting. It is just loud. Yeah, this car is something else. Not sure you guys can see the motor or any of them, just like that. Castle 1700 2028 41.2 spur. Well, first thing I would say, drop that spur to like go with a 34 spur, go with a 39 pinion. You're going to be running an overdrive. Make sure you have good batteries. Run on ADAS. Make sure your solder joints are good. That should be 155, 160. And if you want more, hold the trigger longer, because that motor's really going to wind up a lot. So you need to be careful. You just need to practice. You need to keep doing it. If you want to go faster, just gear up. You know, it's not just a simple gearing. You know, that's that. God. I'm not rebuilding these motors. Absolutely not. They haven't even been ran. I mean, they have. It's disgusting. Thank you, Hovoni. Thank you. I'm getting a scorched motor lock for my V1. Very nice, Stuart. Yep. I like PPS. I don't like the cam thing. That's just my personal opinion. I like sliding. So I have the dual PPS on this, the single PPS on Spartan. Vision, yeah. Vision is running the scorched chassis. I don't know. I've been wanting to make it go aluminum. So it's just a lot of car. It's enough. It's enough slices. All right. All right, I'm going to clean up here. Meanwhile, all right, so Spartan is good. We put Vision back. Just bear with me. Okay. Here, I've flipped Spartan over so you guys can see the solder joints. Hopefully you guys can see. What brand solder do you prefer? Where's my solder? I use this. It's just your Home Depot stuff, you know. It's lead free, so it's going to have a higher melting point. It's going to hold on a little bit better, but you need to make sure you have a good iron. You can't use a crappy iron. Hello from the Bronx. Wow, from the Bronx. What's up from Florida? Starting to get sick of South Florida. It's too expensive. We need more cars. But yeah, yeah, we're pretty much done here. Very, very, very nice. Maybe next time I'll just cut more to the chase regarding just doing whatever it is and whatnot. Let me get a screenshot of that solder. All right. You want a screenshot? Careful now. Oh. Let me try to get it. Hopefully that's good enough. Can you see? Hello from Wales. Oh my, that's a long way away from Florida. Thank you, Memphimoto. Thank you, Memphimoto. How's it going? Where can I find this tire banana? His name is Rick Sefferud. Rick Sefferud. He hand makes these tires, and I haven't heard from him in quite a bit now. It's been at least a year or two since I spoke to him last. But he hand makes these, or the larger tires. If you guys remember Juggernaut, which is the Creighton 8S, when I ran 101, actually, that was the first Creighton to break 100. Fifth scale Creighton to break 100. That had the massive banana foam tires. Those were expensive, but they worked. That's all that mattered. Yeah. So good stream. Is everything coming in smooth and nice? Because I'm pretty surprised because I can't even get on Call of Duty, and it's just horrible. It really is. Or Call of Duty Live, like multiplayer. I don't game that much, but every once in a while I like to be a kid. Is it good? Like the refresh rate is decent? The picture's good? Unimaginable. I don't know why I was putting this off for this long. What light bulbs do you like to use? Or only? I mean, so before the race line came out, which is basically the CNHL or the Innovation RC 10,000, they're almost the same thing, but the 10Ks, they just have wider solder tabs. Before that, what was it? I think the G Plus series from CNHL, and I've always used them. They're great batteries, low resistance. The race line, they just have more runtime. That's it. So longer runtime is going to be perfect. So yeah. All right. Thanks, Autotech. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Dave? GS. HobbyWing setup. Yep. Good quality. Thank you. That's unimaginable. Can you believe it's actually good quality? I would have thought it would have been like torture, but as long as it's good, I guess that's a good thing. So then I guess I'll do this more, right? Guess I'll do this more. Let me know what else you guys would like me to do. Please don't say take a differential out, because I don't want to take the transmit. I just don't want to, unless I need to. Let me know what you would want me to do, whether it's soldering or just another motor rebuild or like a motor comparison. Like I could talk about a bunch of the motors. I have a bunch of I have my electronic box below. So I have XLX2, X8S, like I have a lot of stuff to talk about that I could certainly educate you guys on or inform you about. Do a backflip. Well, RC Master, I don't think I can do a backflip here. No. It'd be cool though. HobbyWing setup. I unfortunately don't have any HobbyWing stuff. I just have Castle stuff. I do have some Spectrum, which is almost the same. Learn Chinese. Yeah. I still have a lot of learning to do. Have any XLX2 for sale? I mean, brand new, I do, but this one I'm never getting rid of. This is one of the ungoverned XLX2s. This was one of the alpha units from Castle that I ran in Juggernaut to break 100 miles an hour for the first time. There's no restriction on this XLX2. This is before the other software that I think they changed a couple things, or they changed hardware or something, but I resoldered 6-gauge wire to it, and I just don't even want to use it because it's this is one of the bulletproof ESCs. Version 2.09. Which one is stronger to you? That'd be great. Thanks. Directly solder bullets. Show. I'm good with whatever you want to talk about. All right. Yeah. I mean, whatever you guys, if you have more ideas, certainly let me know. If you guys aren't on Instagram, this is the YouTube phone. That's the Instagram phone. So you guys on Instagram or whoever's on, it doesn't matter. Just contact me on Instagram, and if you have ideas, I can discuss it, talk about it, or rebuild it, or do something with it, or throw it in a lake, or I can do some good stuff. How much for the one you have? Oh, that one? Not for sale. Not for sale. Not that one. I have other new ones. Brandon, what's your opinion for the Steve New motor? Steve New, they are really good, really expensive, American-made, hand-wound motors. They are extremely good, but for $500, you know, and they could range much more than that. They're great motors, but unless you're setting records, you don't need to spend $500. I actually sold one of my Steve News to buy this, then I bought another one, and then I paid a bill. And I'd rather do that. And that was like years ago. Can I compare 2400, 4070, 1721? I don't have any 4070 motors, but I could certainly tell you the Castle, it's a larger motor. It's going to draw more amps. It's going to have more torque, though. How can I get a Castle? Hang on, I got to catch up on comments. How can I fit a Castle XL-X2 in 2028 in a V1 Limitless? You're going to have to reverse the motor mount. You're going to have to get an upgraded motor mount or the slide to fit a larger motor. Yeah, and that's basically it. You're flipping the motor mount. You're deleting one of the battery trays, which is kind of what I did here. This is a V1 Limitless chassis, stock. Do you know the difference between a D-wind and a Y-wind motor? Do I know the difference? Well, let's just say I prefer my Ys. Why do you ask? I like efficiency. I'll always choose efficiency over a demanding kind of motor. But there's some applications in which a D-wound motor might benefit you more. But again, it depends on what you're going to do with it, how you set it up, how you run it. And if you know the limitations of that motor, a lot of people like to add timing to a D-wound motor to go faster, but in reality, they're making the ESC work harder, which is making them less efficient, making them slower, giving them more traction, making them think, oh, hey, yeah, I am faster. But no, that's not the case. What's the best motor for the Limitless? Oh my God, any. There's a bunch out there. Whichever one has the best solder joints. I prefer Castle. Oh my God, it's Castle and TP. If I need to be aggressive, I'll probably go TP, but 90% of the time I'm Castle because I just love my efficiency. I'll choose efficiency over a demanding kind of setup any day of the week. This is a Y, believe it or not. Even though it's a really demanding amp-hungry motor, it's a 6-pole, but it's still wound differently, so it's not going to be as aggressive, or it's not going to ask as aggressively as a delta wound motor, that is. Let's talk about why people are blowing up their ESCs. Well, yeah, let's add 30 degrees timing, 8S, 3000 kV on a delta wound sensorless motor. That's not why they're blowing up ESCs. That's exactly why. That's exactly why. So we can discuss a lot more, and I'm actually kind of hyped. I really enjoyed this. This is cool. Between Instagram, Facebook, hopefully I could somehow conglomerate it all into just one phone. So, you know, it's just easier. I literally have 2 phones, one Instagram, one for YouTube, which is comical. Yeah, this is a 6-pole. It's gonna demand a lot. Be my Corrali Python, just squeeze it in there. Yeah, I mean, they're great. You don't have to like gear it to the moon. They'll get up and go. Favorite batteries, whichever one has the best solder joint. I mean, I personally like my own. They have a lot of runtime. They have decent punch. I also like the graphene series. Those have very low resistance. Same thing with the IRCs, but I think the graphenes punch out a little bit harder. On the other hand, you have a lot more runtime with the IRC 10,000s, which cap out at 11,000 to put down more power. Favorite batteries, blessings, but smaller, of course. Yeah, I mean, they are big. You know, of course, if you're doing 160, you kind of need big, and that's why using parallel batteries is the way to go. How about some nitro content? Well, Mr. Andrew, regarding nitro, if you were here if I was doing this about 18 years ago, that would probably be the absolute highest topic, but unfortunately, I have no nitro. I miss the smell of it, I really do, but I have nothing. I have no nitro, no gas. The only gas I got it's in there. I'm 26, turning 27, acting like I'm 12. All right. All right, so I'm just about done here. I appreciate all of you guys who tuned in. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate all of the likes, all the comments, all that social media crap. I appreciate you guys, you know, in general. It's endearing. So if you guys want to suggest anything else, you let me know, or you go on Instagram or Facebook, contact me, Brandon Botwinick, or Instagram Innovation RC, and just let me know what topic you'd like me to talk about. Because again, you know, we could do like ESC comparisons. I could do motor compare. You don't even want to see what's in the room over there regarding motors and ESCs and whatnot. A lot of stuff. And I would love to talk about it with you guys and enlighten, inform. Hell, maybe I'll learn. I'm not perfect. I'm learning every day still. I just know a lot. Yes, sir, RC Max. It's been a long day. Suggestion, go fast. Yeah, gear up till it blows up. That's how you know the limit. All right, guys. I'm going to put Spartan down now. And also a friendly reminder, make sure you unplug your batteries to anything that they're plugged into. Unplug every single one of them. Why don't I get notified about this live? I don't know. I don't know. This is my first live. Maybe if you hit the notification thing on the subscribe button, or I don't know. I don't even know. I just play with cars. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get a YouTube live in hopefully probably 2-3 times a month, once a week at 7 p.m. You know, maybe instead of doing a video, like I could come here and chat and talk. Might be good. Might be good. And yeah, God, now I gotta clean everything up. I'll do that tomorrow. Either way, I appreciate it all. Thank you for tuning in. And again, if you have suggestions, Instagram, you let me know, or Facebook, or if any of you local guys have my number, text me, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Appreciate it all. Have a good one. Oh, let's see how I turn this off now. Oh, great. Oh, there you go. Oh, Stuart, real quick. Thank you for the $1. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.